Now, I'm sure some of you have gotten that one phone call. That one phone call that makes your heart just sink. That one phone call to where somebody in your family, somebody that you know, somebody that you love, ended up in the hospital with some sort of life-threatening or deadly ailment. And for those of you who haven't received that phone call, I'd like for you to imagine what that might feel like. Knowing that somebody that you know or love might not be on this earth much longer. Now, as a kid, my mom smoked cigarettes. I was very familiar with the scent, the risk involved with smoking, and the monetary costs. And as I grew older, I realized that there were a ton of people that smoked cigarettes as a daily habit. And it wasn't very long before I had somebody in my circle or somebody that I knew that had adverse side effects to smoking, whether it had been long-term or short-term. Now, let's fast forward to 2006. In 2006, e-cigarettes or vaping hit the scene as the new safe alternative to smoking cigarettes. But what they didn't know is that vaping can be just as hazardous, if not more hazardous, than smoking cigarettes. My name is Dallas, and I'm here to persuade you to escape the vape. And there are three main reasons I want to convey to you as to why you should escape the vape. My first main reason is that it contaminates your body. My second main point is that it destroys your lungs. And my third main point is that it's expensive. So let's transition back to the first reason why you should escape the vape. The first reason you should escape the vape is that it contaminates your body. So the main ingredient in vape juice is nicotine. Now, there's a guy by the name of Chi Ming Hai. He's a physiologist at Brown University. He wrote an article in Medical Daily that suggested that nicotine can cause your cells to transform into little mini drills that shoot through tissue. That doesn't sound very appealing to me. And he also went on to suggest that the long-term consumption of nicotine can increase the risk of developing atherosclerosis, which is a terrible disease. So in order for the user to get the same amount of nicotine from vape juice as you would one cigarette, you'd have to consume 3 times the amount of product. So the traditional cigarette contains about 14 milligrams of nicotine per cigarette, and the average e-cig juice or vape juice contains about 3 milligrams per use. Although there are some advanced users who have more complex machines and higher nicotine content juices. Now, not only are you inhaling nicotine, but you're also inhaling other harmful chemicals, which brings me to my second main point. The second reason you should escape the vape is that it destroys your lungs. So by vaping, you're also inhaling harmful chemicals such as benzaldehyde and vanillin. So if you were to go on the CDC's website and look up the International Health and Safety Card for benzaldehyde, I think you'd be astonished. Just to handle this chemical, you have to wear protective gloves and a respirator, just to handle it. It's also combustible, which means it explodes. And inhalation of this, even in very minute amounts, can cause you to have coughs and a sore throat. Now, vanillin, although it's considered a safe additive to food and perfumes, it wasn't necessarily meant for inhalation. Now, the use of vanillin or using vanillin can, well, in large quantities, can lead to headache, nausea, difficulty breathing, vomiting, and even some forms of kidney failure or damage. So there was an article in Science News for Students written by Janet Harloff and Beth Mole that suggested that even the use of e-juice or vape juice minus nicotine can disrupt the barrier function of your lungs. That sounds crazy. With all these adverse side effects of vape juice or vaping, it's only a matter of time before you end up at the doctor's office or in the hospital, which costs a lot of money. Which brings me to my third main point. My third main point or my third reason you should escape the vape is that it's expensive. So if you're going to get into vaping, there's an initial cost. You have to buy the vape machine. So a vape machine can range anywhere from $50 to upwards of $1,000 plus. And not only do you have to buy the machine, but using the machine will eventually wear it out, and they require maintenance. Not only do you have to invest money in the machine, but you also have to keep a supply of vape juice handy. Now, there's a website called the Flavor Vapor Lounge. They're the leading source for vapor products and news and information on vapor stuff, vaping, e-cig, what's new, what's current. And they suggest that the average vapor or person who vapes spends upwards of $400 to $600 per year on vaping. So not only is vaping extremely expensive, it can kill you. So today I was here to persuade you to escape the vape before it kills you. Now there were three main points I wanted to convey to you. The first main point was that it contaminates your body. By vaping, you're consuming harmful chemicals such as nicotine. My second main point as to why you should escape the vape is that it destroys your lungs. By vaping, you're inhaling chemicals such as benzaldehyde and vanillin, which are considered lung irritants. And my third main point, and the third main reason you should escape the vape, is that it's expensive, costing users upwards of $400 to $600 a year. Now, there's no question that smoking cigarettes is a deadly habit. And with vaping rapidly becoming the standard way to take the place of traditional smoking, the risks need to be conveyed to the users before they make the transition, and not knowing the potential harm of vaping. Now, my challenge for you is that if you vape, I'd like for you to consider quitting. And if you don't vape, I'd like for you to take this information that I got for you today and pass it to somebody who does vaping, try to convince them to escape the vape. And it really is a matter of life or death. And with that, I thank you.